Hello, everybody. Let's turn some smooth jazz on. We can't be having anything high intensity today. I'm sat here, no AC for the Americans out there. It's 27.2 degrees here. Not in general. In general, it's like 29. But my thermometer right there, a bare meter from me, says 27.2 degrees. Believe it or not, I actually only wear these vests when it's so hot I can't bear it. And oh my good golly gosh. Hello everybody, how's it going? What's up? I'm Andy. I'm Glass Half Dead. I talk about Kill Team. Today, I suspect we may talk about Kill Team. We might even remove the green screen to show you. We're going to talk about some Kill Team stats, some tier lists, some stats, because as I already said to my patrons, I found that there were kind of, I tend to, pay attention to the tier list quite a bit, and I felt like the stats didn't really reflect it, so I thought, hey, let's have a chat. What's going on? So there you go. But let's put the green screen back up, the shield, so that we can see what's going down. So hello everybody, how's it going? What are you doing? Are you hobbying? If it's your first time here, be aware that these live streams rarely get to a point, and that's kind of not the reason to be here, you know. You should typically watch these because you just want to get some hobby done yourself, some housework, some driving, whatever it is, and you want some very vague, loose Kill Team content, but really it's somebody talking to chat, and chat might be talking about Kill Team. There you go. So, say hi in the chat if you're here live. If you're watching back later, thanks as well. Watch the ads. Cool. Before I get to chat, I'm actually going to immediately crack open this beautiful Vive Cola because my gosh, it is very warm and I need to start drinking or I'm going to die. And of course, when I open this, let's get the crack. I peaked the microphone quite nicely. Hydratus Dominatus. Everybody, what are you drinking? Not alcohol, I hope. You naughty boys. Daniel Green is actually here on time. Well done, Daniel. Durin, is it you or is it just hot in there? It is incredible. It's an inferno. It's an inferno here. Kiwi, come on. Hello, Andy. Keep cool. I'm in Georgia. It's a toasty 32. You see, Kiwi, I didn't even bother reading the first number you put because I don't know what that means. Jay, hello. Good to see you again. In stream. It's my girlfriend, obviously. I realise that everybody's about to start saying, oh, but my number's higher. And I'm going to cover that in a moment, but I'll keep going. How do you guys have wash and dry combos in the kitchen but no AC? I don't know, man. Every year, England is shook that we actually have hot weather. We don't see it coming. Hits us out of nowhere every year. It's 37°C where you are. That's very warm. Sounds like Spain to me, if I had to guess. I think there were 37, 38, 39, 40s over the last week, over the weekend. Hello, Ian. Hello. ASAP Gamer W. Big W. Where do you guys find the stats for the past month? Also love your content, Chief. Keep it up. I shall be discussing that in a moment, but long story short, if you just type in Kill Team Stats Coffee, which is KOFI, and it will come up there. That's how I always find it. I don't have the link saved. I just always Google Kill Team Stats Kofi. And it's I think the page name is Kill Team Stats Chris, and he's got it all there, and I will go over that and have a chat. Eddie says, good evening all, hope you are staying hydrated, Andy. I am now, Eddie, now that I wanted to open this about 10 minutes ago, but I was like, no, I've got to say Hydratus Dominatus and crack it on stream. So there you go. Stork 16C, that sounds heavenly, if I'm honest. Absolutely heavenly. I wish I could put on a hoodie and we'd be good to go. Some thick socks. We'd make it work. Right. So, what do we got going today? Got everybody hobby? Are you hyped for your new Goremongers because you get to have a free one this weekend? What's going on? I'm hyped for just randomly. I don't know. I just got really into the idea that I'm gonna do all four of the Chaos, the Demon Primarchs because they're cool models. I just want to have them, you know. And I thought, let's let's do that. That'll be a fun treat to myself. I will build them. I will spray them white, and then I will cover them in brown, and then dry brush them Wraithbone, and then I will never actually paint them. But I'm okay with that. I understand my foibles, you know. But I will get that far with all of them at least. Ooh. Let's embiggen this window so I can actually see chat. Where do you get the pirate ship model? Do I have a pirate ship? Eddie, you're going to have to be more specific on that one. I'm not aware of a pirate ship. Oh! The ruined pirate ship. So that is the terrain feature piece for the Idoneth Deepkin from Age of Sigmar. I assume that's the only pirate ship I think I have. So it must be that one. Yeah, we're dying in Spain and I live in the north. So sounds like you're from Zaragoza, perhaps. I don't know. Yeah, that sounds intense, to be honest with you. It's at least 85 degrees. I don't know what that means. Where I live, which I think is 25. 25? Yeah, okay. I mean, that's still warm, obviously. Obviously. I mean, I'm only 27 here in the house, but yeah, that's still warm. But a 25 is like manageable, I feel. I was teaching the game to a new player the other week. He chose Hunter Clade as his team. I just obliterated. Yeah, that will happen. Yes, correct. I know about elite teams and all. Yeah. You should really try to not do that to new players. I would advise. But if you're playing an elite team, you will do that. Yeah. You know, it's all about the player. Some people like to get absolutely brutally, mercilessly punished. Not everyone does. But to each their own. To each their own. Chaos Mistress, an unknown chatter, definitely not somebody formerly by the name of Kaz, says, "Hi, Eddie. Got to get Stilt Guy finished by the end of this." Okay, all right, go for it. Stilt Guy is still sat in a box upstairs for me. But I enjoyed my time with Stilt Guy. Literally can't remember his actual name. Scattercross, something like that. Yeah, he's fun. He's fun. The Stilt Guy is hilarious. Yeah, I like the color scheme I came up with for AdMech. That's what I like about it, and that looks good on anything. So that's why I like him, because I painted him that way. Was delighted to get Typhon on Saturday. Glad to hear it, Ian. Not open yet as finishing the Plague Marines. Oh, you know what? That's the other thing I could talk about. If chat slows down, I actually played 3 games in the last 2 days. So I can actually talk about my games. My God, right? What did I play? I have finally played Plague Marines. I was the Plagues into Nemclaw first time, and I was actually really surprised. I thought the person I was playing against had played into Plague Marines before, so I was kind of hoping he was going to teach me a little bit about it. He was like, "Nope, never played him." I was like, "Oh, okay, weird." So I finally played my first ever game of Plague Marines as them, not against them, obviously. And then I played 2 games of Mandrakes versus Scouts, one on Into the Dark and one on Volcus. These are things I could discuss. If I have to, I guess. But let's keep going. Ghostly Ship, yep, the Idoneth Deepkin. I got there. Bought the statue for Eddie and I. 183 days. Oh, gosh. Okay. Are there none on eBay? I'm actually shook. I would have assumed that eBay's filled with it, to be honest. Next time the Pathfinders run the lead with 11 Chasselas. You reckon? That's the play. That's the play with the Pathfinders, is it? Okay. Hello, Leaks. Jodin, I was a bit surprised to the slotted base on the Archaeologist. Guess it's just an old model, isn't it? Real shame. Obviously, when I was reading the Warcom article where they were talking about the tech priest leading it, and I, off the cuff, said, "Oh, it'd be awesome if they had it was like a mirror to Hyrotech, and so Hyrotech, so you could take different tech priests. That would have been amazing." Keeping in mind that I knew at the time that wasn't true, but that would have been cool. That would have been cool. My silk guy is green and brown with googly green and brown. So you know what? This may sound harsh, but no matter how well you paint that, I will never like that color scheme. I cannot see. I'm red-green colorblind, so everything just looks brown. So it will just look brown to me. And you might think, oh no, there's many textures. It's like, no, it'll just look brown. There you go. The muddy brown of the green, brown, red combos do not work for my eyes. Yeah, it's real tough one for me. Which is weird. You'd think I would like Blood Angels and Dark Angels less, but there you go. Got my first Typhon box on Sat. I should get my second on the 5th. That is greedy. Why have you gone 2? Out of curiosity. The Last Bard of Cadia. Hey, hello. Finally got the courage to buy some Pathfinders, but I'm really uncertain of which colour to paint. Maybe some purple or blue. Why did you need courage to buy Pathfinders? Is the first question. Second question, purple or blue? Yeah. They're the same colour to me, so I probably shouldn't be the person that advises you on colours, if I'm honest. This might be somewhat linked to why I don't particularly like painting. Possibly. OMG, he's played Plague Marines. This is a momentous occasion. I did, and I actually quite enjoyed them. I also won with them. Keep that in mind, because that is, let's be honest, if I had lost with them, I would not be as hype on them, would I? That's the reality. But I'm aware of my biases, and I'll tell you those, but it's true. Raheem the Dream 16. Hey Andy, I picked up my Typhon box from my ALGS past weekend. I'm planning to main Raveners. Played them into Legionaries on Saturday and won. Oh wow, so I have yet to play them into a Marine team. My question is just kind of how? Like, be real. Did you roll hot? Because obviously Raveners are strong, but to my mind, I think you got to have some tilted dice. You got to have some skewed dice on that bad boy to actually be able to do what you want to do effectively into them, because otherwise they kind of muscle you out, don't they? I don't know. You tell me. Again, I haven't actually done the matchup yet. Eddie says, I can finally say, hello, Evil Bear Skirmish. I was there the day DHT was touched by Nurgle. Day I was born. Day I was born, sadly. But yes. Yes. What time are they going to reveal the new Black Templar Combat Patrol? I do not know, Charles Joseph. Let me get GW on the line. I've got no clue. Typhon also arrived Saturday for me. Haven't been able to do anything with it yet, as my hobby room is in the attic and has been... Oh, man. Yeah, you can't go up there. It's not just it's stored there. You'd have to sit there. Yeah. Couldn't be done. I got tools. I want to have a 10-man squad and to build warriors if needed. Okay. Sure. Why not? Money's fun. Having models is cool. Can we take a moment to revel in the fact that the Blood and Faith statue costs $32.50. The Emperor protects indeed. Is that a good number? Are we happy with that? I mean, if so, good. Sup, mate? Nice to see you. Hello, El Pori Pokemon. Good to see you. Crimson Bunny says, is the medic for Battlefield a must every game, or is taking another servitor more effective? It's a tough one. So I have to confess, I never used the medic ability. Not that I played Battleclade hugely or I'm a good player. But it is also the best medic in the game. Which kind of makes you feel like, well, maybe I should be taking it. I think for the smarter players out there, there is a way for the medic to possibly be like the best op on the team, but you do have to have a plan and know what you're intending to do, right? But think of it this way, you know, like, I don't know, I'm not going to talk tactics because it's a team I don't really know, but I can definitely see him just moving up behind 2 Flamer boys and keeping those Flamer boys alive for an extra turn would just be incredibly good. I don't know. I had a cheap box of Hand of the Archon and Cabalites. I'm excited. Oh, lovely. Well, yeah, so I actually really like Drukhari, but obviously the rumors are they're going to get a revamp, and so I'm terrified of buying old models because, say what you will about like their basic troops have not held up well. And so if they were to get new sculpts, I would be really into those new sculpts, and I would want to buy the new sculpts, which would then make whatever I buy now potentially obsolete. Do you think Bloodletters will get updated anytime soon? I want to kit bash them and a Skull Taker for Demons Gormonger's team. Terry, no. From everything GW has shown us, they do not like demons. They are not going to allow demons to get updates, new sculpts. We don't know why. There you go. So if you want to do some crazy proxies and such, now is the perfect time. Sooner the better. And I would say that is a team that you are very secure in how long it's going to be till GW updates demons, because they might never. Did they nerf the medic? Don't know. Did they? I guess I could check. Did they nerf the medic? I guess the question there is, has it been put up on battle kit yet? Where are we looking? What am I looking for? What's it called? Battle Clade. Techno Medic. So if they did, it's not up on battle kit, which is fine, I suppose. I don't remember seeing a nerf to the medic in Battle Clade. Do you? Let's force you. If you're gonna make me do this, I'm gonna sit here and make you watch me search as well, by the way. There you go. Where do I rank legionaries these days? Ooh. You know what? Once I go and start talking about the tier lists and the stats, I will tell you. There's nothing there, so is it an errata? An FAQ? What's that? Oh, you know what? I reckon I know what you're thinking of. You're thinking of this, right? This is not a nerf. This is them just bringing the medic in line to how all other medic rules are written. About 6-9 months ago, whatever, they updated the way they want to order things, and all medic rules are now written this way up here, as opposed to the way they are default written from whenever this was written a year ago. So, not a nerf at all, just a clarification of timings. There you go. It might get nerfed. I don't think it will. I don't think the medic is why the team is good. So I think we're probably okay. It was changed, but not nerfed. I can tell I'm old fart because the current Dark Elder range is still new in my head. Yes, so I appreciate what you're saying. But I get it. I do. But that is very old. Right? Like, I still think of AdMech as being like the latest faction added to 40k. And even that's like 10 years ago now, you know? But Drukhari is legit 20 years ago. So, and they've had a full range refresh since they were first released. You might need to do a slight mental reset there, Plastic Eater, on that one. I get the vibe, I get the problem. It's just, not only have they existed for so long, they've even had a range update since they began existing. And they look great, to be fair. The dice fell normally. Signs of a pro gamer right there. You have like world champions rolling 5-6s, and then at the end of the game being like, "Oh, yeah, this was a pretty average dice for me. So you know that's totally fine. Yeah, I think it was just skill." Yeah. To clarify, I've never heard the World's Players say that. It's a joke. Don't clip it and send it to World's Players. Thank you very much. Is New Recruit any good for Kill Team? I have never used New Recruit for Kill Team. Why would you need a roster builder? Is my main question. Is that a thing you want? I don't think I've ever... Yeah, I don't know. I've never wanted to do a roster. There we go. Back to this. I thought there was something about bringing it in line with other medics. Yes, they did. But only from a timing perspective. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Oh, we've got Academic Chris with the 199 Hydratus Dominatus. I've already cracked it, Academic Chris, but thank you. Hydratus Dominatus, indeed. Obviously, I spent the first 10 minutes of the stream complaining about the heat, and that was why I had to crack this bad boy immediately, because it's way too hot and I need to stay hydrated. Hydratus Dominatus. It's fine. I've jumped. My secondary 40k was T-Sun. There's no way I'm buying any more Tzeentch Demon stuff on the grounds. They'll probably go next edition. Already sold the few I had. I don't think they're going, Leaks Feeks. They're not going to be suitable as their own army. There won't be a Demon's army. And I think we can see pretty clearly what they're doing with Demons in Age of Sigmar. Your Tzeentch Demons will be Tzeentch only. So you'll always be able to use Tzeentch Demons in the Thousand Suns army. You just won't be able to use Tzeentch Demons in a Demon army or in a Khorne army or whatever. But fair play, you know. I think best to get rid of them now if you're going to not like it when they officially go. Fair enough. Steel yourself for the worst, you know. It's fine with how edition of this building is not really a thing anymore. Yeah, I know that some people really like having a roster builder. I've never needed it for the last 4 years, so I'm not really experienced with them. Are Custodians and Terminus viable in this edition of Kill Team? No, because they don't exist. Oh, okay. You've updated that question. Are Custodians and Terminus viable in this edition of a Kill Team? Complement as new Kill Team design teams in this design. I don't think we're ever going to get an all Terminator or all Custodians team. No, but I can see there being a single Terminator or a single Custodians in a team. I think a team that a lot of people are kind of semi-expecting is a Custodians with some Sisters of Battle. So like 1 Custodes, 3, maybe 4 Sisters of Battle. I think that's something I wouldn't be too surprised if we see. That'd be very cool. But just 5 Custodes? No. I don't think that'll happen. But we shall see. I want to get the Battle Clade, but only one is selling them for half the box price. Ugh. Even the Battle Clade? That's crazy. Should I wait for the standalone box? How long does it take for the box to come out? It will take 3 months. So the way they do all of this is that when the next big box releases, which will be late September, October time, they will also release the Raveners and the Battle Clade, and we assume the Typhon Terrain as well. So there you go. But yeah, I will say the prices I've seen on eBay for the Raveners have been very high, which of course they are, because as soon as people know they can sell things for more than they should they do, just like we saw with Kassakin, which is mad. I wish I'd sold my Kassakin, if I'm honest. Like when they were going for mad money, I wish I'd sold them. Oh well, because then I could have bought them back for at a third of the price. Hey Glass, got my Typhon today. Well done, CT. Glad to hear it. Stephen Williams, hi. If I'm on Vartis shooting a concealed op who is benefiting from light cover but from 2 different pieces of terrain, can they choose between super save and conceal? No, because they don't have conceal because they need heavy for that. So you might need to reframe your question if you want to ask something else. But you've don't know. I feel like you wanted to ask a different question there. Try again, Steve. We can have a think. Omniandra says Sisters of Silence. I assume, yeah, I mean, that's who would go with the Custodes, right? Or did I say the wrong Sisters? Custodes seems a bit of an overreach. I'd like to see Terminus instead, and that would probably still bring it down to 4 to 5 models already. So I think the prevailing wisdom with that, whatever that Custodes team, I can't remember what they're called, but there's a bit in the lore where when a Custodes becomes retired, essentially, they leave the Golden Palace and they go somewhere to do, like, until they die. You know, they go on essentially a Dwarven Slayer style quest to get themselves killed, sort of thing. And we would expect one of them, so they are a worse Custodes. But then we have Brian with a $5. Thank you so much. Late in as well. Keep bashing some tyrannies at the moment since my Typhon Box got cancelled. I read you say, yeah, I'm really sorry about that. And eBay prices are absurd. They are absurd. That is very true. Yes. So what are you going with? Are you going with the Von Ryan Leapers? And of course, Hydratus Dominatus for the $5. Thank you. Eyes of the Emperor. That's probably what I meant. Yeah. Fair. Very fair. Also, the Blood and Zeal rules did get released in the app. They did. Yes, that's true. I always go onto my third-party website of choice at 10 AM, refresh the page and pre-order. Never had an issue with it. CT, 100%. You cannot do... So, I don't know where you're based. In the UK, 100%. I have been on Whaling Games and Element Games, and I have not... And they just... As soon as it goes up, it is out of stock. 100% I've had that on both of those websites. Not specifically with Kill Team of late, because I don't need to buy a Kill Team, luckily. But with other things. Yeah, for sure. 100%. And so when I've wanted things, like recently, mandatory. I really wanted to get the chapter approved for 40k and the General's Handbook for Age of Sigmar. I had to go GW store to make sure I actually got it. My FOGSs did not get it. So there you go. Would you ever consider making a funding goal for something like another Atticus Fell Galaxy Renowned Archaea Raider Bat Rep? Sure. But I mean, it just didn't get many views, and it took so long to do that I struggle to imagine how much I would need to be paid to do another one when I'm not currently feeling like I want to really put my all into a battle report, you know? Yeah. Or maybe I think, oh, this is the next piece of equipment I want to have for my stream, for whatever. So I'll do a funding goal of however much that piece of equipment costs, so that then I can say, oh, well, I've got a cool new bit of kit to play with, and to play with, I shall do a battle report as like part of it or something. But in reality, I probably won't at the moment. I've just finished playing Warcraft 3, and I'm going to try and make a video out of that. Not for this channel, obviously, but it's a straight up 20 hours of video, and I have no idea how to manage that. And I still have the second half of the game. I've still got to do the Frozen Throne. But I'm stopping here, because if I can't make this first 20 hours work, then I'm not going to make the next 20 hours work in addition. So It will all be one video if I manage to do it. But that's where my current creative efforts are going. There you go. Anyway, good question though. Good question. I can always be swayed, but sometimes the price is too zug. Indeed, me not that kind of orc. The last article says 2 custodians, 3 sauce, tons of the Emperor style, and 3 termi and 2 something. Yeah, no, I'd love it. Now you do get into an issue there though. As soon as you have the stats for Terminators and the stats for Custodians both in the game, you cannot make them like for like. So, for example, 2 Custodians, 3 Sisters, you couldn't then do like 3 Termies and 2 worse than Sisters. But also, if you think about how Terminators work, well, you can't just do 2 regular Marines, because that team would clearly be too strong, right? You've got to be real careful. One thing I will say about Kill Team is that they're pretty good at showing their power scaling, I think. So they know a Marine is tougher and like better and stronger and faster than X. And they know that a Ravener is tougher than a Space Marine. And so they're very good at keeping that all in line, which sounds very obvious. But, you know, when you're just sat down and thinking, oh, I've got to make a 5-man team, what do I do? Then, yeah, these are the kind of... This is almost the first thing you think of. It's like, okay, well, I can't make it worse than this 6-man team. Dumb as that might sound, maybe, but it's important. Got Shadow Bolts too. Oh, nobody got Shadow Bolts. I mean, I got Shadow Bolts, but nobody that bought it got, like, crazy. That stuff was gold dust. Well done. 10 AM is simply too early to wake up to place a pre-order for... Yeah, maybe, maybe, yeah. But not for you, because you're old, as you've just admitted. So therefore, you're up 4 AM, because your bladder's too, you know, your prostate's too big. So you're up bright and early 10 AM, I assume. Anthony Wilson says, first time for a live stream, painting my Plague Marine kill team as we speak. As I had just said, Anthony, I've just played Plague Marines for the first time. Once I catch up with chat, I'll probably talk about it, but I have to talk about the stats as well. We might get there. I don't really make points in this video, in these streams, to be clear. I just talk to chat. I'm in the UK, maybe just like a Shadowbox. Yep. Helkion, June 30th, 2025. We still don't have the kill team that gives kill team its name. Yeah, I know. I will not place a bet, because my conspiracy theory, as I've mentioned before, is that it's going to be 2 years after Deathwatch got put back into 40k. That's my guess. Because I think it looks like GW was just going to remove them completely from the game. But then there was such outcry that GW put them back into 40k. So I reckon when they had the meeting to put them back into 40k, they also said, oh, we should probably support these then, shouldn't we? So, 2 years. Leapers, yep. Considering New Elixir as the prime. Oh, nice. Isn't the New Elixir quite... I've never seen the New Elixir in person. It is taller, that is true. Right now, I'm toying with the Winged Prime and Crushing Claws as the base for the Wrecker. That sounds like a good size proxy, yeah. Because he's a bit more hunched over than the others. Hello, Toondar. I enjoyed how characterful that Batrep was, with the Archaeologist being a dumbass and the Underseer, the overworked real one. You know it. Askus fell. Galaxy renowned Archaeo Raider. They're traps, you say. Fair enough. Love a good trap. Always have a less popular third party on the tab over just in case. Yep, fair. Zug. Warcraft 3, yes. Oh man, just watched the battle report on the top of the Manta. Yes. Best use for that godly expensive model. It's a real shame. So when I was over there, we recorded 3 videos. We recorded a how to play kill team, which they never did. They never edited that together. So there you go. That was a long day. And I understand why they didn't try to edit that footage together. I said, guys, we should script this. And they said, no, we're fine. We'll wing it. It's like, fair play. Then they did not edit it together. And I can imagine why. Then we did the Manta Bat Rep, which obviously started off with me having a misplay. Great, can't do that with Kaskin turn 1. Superb. But then we did a third video, which was a Patreon-only video for them and for my patrons. But it's on their channel, obviously. And yeah, that was actually the better battle report. It was between me and Space Marine Steve. I was Legionary, he was Intercession at the time. And yeah, I totally understand why they did the Manta battle report on their channel, because obviously it appeals to a lot more people. But yeah, the other battle report on Into the Dark was actually the significantly better, like, tactical battle report, and like, in my opinion, just had a bit more energy. So yeah, there you go. Check that out by becoming either my patron or a patron for them. Kill Team Start battle reports for Warcraft 3 online matches. I'd watch it, you know. Now, that's not true. No, I would, but that's not the point. But yeah, I don't think anybody would ever do that, because of course, part of the thing about this, I could talk about meta and like culture for a very long time about this, but basically nobody expects it over there. And part of the reason why you don't need to do that, like, and edit something heavily, is because the games are fast enough. It's a 15-minute game. You could just talk for 15 minutes. I do that every Monday for 2 hours. You could talk solidly for 50 minutes and it's exciting, right? You cannot talk solidly for a 4-hour Worlds match where nothing happens for like literally 6 minutes in between, and the first dice isn't rolled for literally 2 hours, right? But if somebody takes that Worlds match and edits it, very exciting, very cool. Live, terrible, terrible. Whereas computer games don't have that issue, obviously. So why would you edit it? But I would watch that. But then also, why would a computer gamer actually put that much effort into their videos? They don't need to. I saw the narrative video you posted. The only real thing I can say is maybe it's because there was a lot of overlap with this channel and the other channel. Maybe that's why you did not do very well. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's what it is. Don't care. Yeah, I'm fine with it. I did something because I wanted to. Didn't get great views. Won't do it again. Cool. 2 up saved only 5 move. On a Custode? Oh, a Terminator. Right. Kill Team is such a great game to show the power of each faction. I hope that Warcry gets the same love one day. The flavour of each faction is lost in the current mechanics. And Warcry has been scrapped. Maybe that's part of the reason why. Who knows, right? Just ordered some Mandrakes, super hype. Yes, I just had a double game into Scouts with Mandrakes, which I then also checked the stats for Mandrakes into Scouts, and apparently it's like one of the Scouts' worst matchups. I was feeling pretty good. I won twice. Turns out everybody wins twice. Yeah. Currently searching through Orc kits online to turn into a new Ravener proxy team. Nice. Learn to play with height by using basic material. Orcs with shovel sounds hilarious to me. It has to be the Wrecker. The Orc Wreckers, WREKKAZ, from the Iron Jaws. They're knobs, but taller, and in very dynamic poses. It's the only option. If you pick anything else, you've done it wrong. Now, you do have to buy 2 of those kits, because they're 3 models each. And then you need to buy a knobs kit, because you need the 40k weapons. But that'll look great. I've done it. I've already done them. I've shown them a few times. They look a banging, mate. Perfect proxies. I get woken up every morning by some goblin in my house demanding a bowl of cereal, and yeah, the desperate need for it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. One custodian archaeologist, Jokero, Sister of Silent Servitor? Maybe. I don't know if they're ever actually going to bring Jokero back. I feel like that was a part of a funnier time that they've moved on from, perhaps. Seawinds, good catch. I meant I'm on Vantage, shooting an op who is obscured and in heavy cover from 2 different terrain pieces. Do they get to choose? Yes, they get to choose. There you go. Wait. Between super... Okay. Wait. You said super save. What do you think that means? Because super save means you get to save 2, or you get to save... Okay, you're talking again. Okay. Okay, and then light cover. So then you will get a super save if you're concealed. And they have seek light. Wait. No. Just if you're not concealed. Yes, concealed. Alright, sorry. I'm with you. Yes, super save you get from being concealed in light cover. Two advantage targets concealed, obscured, and in light cover. Yep, so you get to decide if you want to be obscured or if you want to be take a cover save. Yeah, your choice. Yes. But you don't get to stack them, and that's all that change was. New Elixir is huge, doesn't fit on a stronghold platform, barely go under the small ruins, kind of hits the roof. Well, that is good reference there, Stork, for Brian. Hopefully he's still here and listening. I will say the Prime, his dorsal fin doesn't fit under the 3-inch things. He's just a little bit taller than that. So the way I play that is that if the model doesn't fit there, it cannot move there, but it can move through. Yeah. But people play that differently. Not everyone plays it that way. It's not spelled out particularly well in the rules how that should be played, I feel. It's very, very open to interpretation. So every TO will kind of rule that differently. Good conspiracy theory, maybe. That said, we want to know a Death Watch box set would sell like hotcakes. Yeah, it would be amazing. There's so many ways they can do it. I've already done a video talking about how they should do it. And the different ways they could do it, and the way they should do it. Yes. Currently thinking about buying commanders for the proxies. Yeah, commanders are quite small compared to Raveners, but they are definitely an option, for sure. For sure. You'd have to, you know, put them on 40 meters instead of 32s and give them some rocks to stand on, but they're cool models, that's for sure. And one of the miniatures looks suspiciously like Titus, you know, anyway, the engender is determined by 40k, you're right. Oh, 40k decides everything because it makes so much money. Aragon, hello. Winstonator, good news, bad news from my LGS's first tournament. Good, I won. Bad, I was the only person there. Hey, win's a win. You need to start a YouTube channel about how pro elite gamer you are. That's what I do. Chris says, just finished some Slanesh Blooded Tempestus Aquilons, nasty pink. That is lovely. I don't really get on with the colour pink. I'm going to be honest. It never really pops to me. You know, like they did all of the Emperor's Children reveals. I assume there's a lot of pink on there. And it doesn't really look pink to me. Yeah. So I think I'm not really the one for pink. Although I would like to be. But yeah. I only see a Deathwatch kill team coming if we get a Deathwatch specific weapons for Primaris. Until then, 18 Infirmus is what you get. Yeah, I imagine they're going to end up doing it that way. Are they going to do like, this is a mixed unit similar to Kill Team Cassius? Or are they going to do almost, this is the one kit we're going to do that has ultimate flexibility. And it's basically the old, you know, it's just literally the current Kill Team Primarisified. But you still get all of the options. Which is what they should do, obviously. But better because, you know, it's newer and larger and stuff. Size matters, obviously. Or are they going to go character squad? Done. Okay, right. I've caught up with chat. So I will talk about... Should I talk about my games or should I talk about the stats? You know what? I'll talk about the stats now because that's what's on the thumbnail. And we're only 45 minutes in, so this is a record. Let's go ahead and... Where are we going? Here. Right. Let's remove the background. Let's shrinkify myself. Woo, here we go. Right. Deathwatch makes good legionaries. Marks are different chapter styles and they're both big firstborn models. Yes, that's fair. I agree. Shame we're losing legionary. Well, there you go. Oh, random aside before I begin this. This is my mouse. I can't lift it high enough. I'm gonna move on. Oh wait, no, I'm not gonna unplug it. I have a mouse. It's like an office mouse. You know, it's like vertical. And I'm gaming with it. That's weird. I know. But there you go. All right, moving on. So let's zoom in a bit for this tier list so that you guys can actually see it. There you go. Lovely, lovely. And you don't need to see the size. That's fine. Okay, this is a tier list. It's provided by Kill Team Mercenarios, which is a Spanish podcast. I do not speak Spanish. I do not understand Spanish. I've met some of the guys that do the Kill Team Mercenarios. They're all great guys. The Spanish community in general is great group of people. Everyone I've ever interacted with from there has been lovely. I'd thoroughly recommend, if you are in Spain, hook up with your local Kill Teamers. They seem to be great meta, great community, awesome stuff. And Kill Team Mercenarios, you should obviously be checking them out. And they sometimes, every month, I want to guess, but just randomly, maybe it's every quarter, put out a tier list. And that tier list goes on to Kill Team Battle Kit, because that's what it is. That's the website. It's not a roster builder or a list builder. It's got all the rules for Kill Team. It's got all of the teams up there, of course, but it also has the core rules. This is what we should all be using. I use it all the time. I literally, despite having the app on my phone right next to Battle Kit, I just default to Battle Kit. There you go. And that it used to be the case that I used Battle Kit because I was also using it as a score tracker. So it has a score tracker with a chess clock, blah, 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 all built in. But I don't even do that anymore. I don't use the score tracker, which used to be a really big thing for me. I used to always use the score tracker from it. But then since I got the GG Easy all-in-one travel box, which has a score tracker right next to my dice tray, I just do that. It's just easier to just plop a dice in and say, there you go, I've scored that. So now I do that. Let's look at the A tier. Oh, sorry, the S tier. S tier we have, according to them, Legionary, Nemclaw, Plague Marine, Gore, Muggers, Sanctifiers. A plus, we've got Angels of Death, Phobos, Void Dancers, Brood Coven, Warp Coven, Pathfinders, Techno, what are they called? I was going to say Technoclade, Battleclade. Alright. Hearthkin and DT, I'm retroactively blaming my 110 win-loss ratio on that. You know what? Maybe. Because we don't have that many games played, right? Like, individuals can mess with stats at our level of games. Not crazily, but they can. And the advantage of BK is being able to check opponents' rules without download. Yes, that's true. Okay. Where have they put Kroot? C tier. Right next to the salvages. Oh, next to Kassakin. Oh, gosh. Now, an interesting thing here is that a few months ago, they had Rattlings up at like A tier. Nothing's changed. So I don't know what happened there. I do understand that new teams have released, but I really don't think that the new teams have anything over Rattlings that has really not like been there before. So keep in mind, again, that tier lists are things to contemplate, consider, have a chat about. They're conversation pieces, their opinion as well. So there you go. So don't take these too seriously, is what I would say. However, whilst the tier list is great to look at, if you recall, the way I did my last tier list was this, something like objective fact tier list, which is obviously said as a little bit of a joke, but also it's because I wasn't doing a tier list. I was changing the way in which you view stats and putting it into a tier list. So everything above a 55% win rate, Chaos Cult, Sanctifiers, Blades of Cain, Warp Coven, would be S tier. So let's read that again. So the official S tier is Warp Coven, Blades of Cain, Sanctifiers, Chaos Cult. Okay, Sanctifiers. They've got Sanctifiers in the right place. Everything else? Warp Covens in the tier below. Okay. Blades of Cain are in B tier. Alright, that's quite far off, but that's fine. Chaos Cult, where are they? A tier. That's quite far. It's quite far. The problem with Ratlings is no one likes playing them. Let's find out if that's true. So we click on games played. Where do you think Ratlings are going to be? Hey, they're going to be far down. Not too far. Where are they? Ratlings. 133 games played out of 5,055 games. If I could do math on a calculator, I would tell you what that means they are. I can't. For reference, Plague Marines have 767 games played. But there is a huge drop-off because we have so many teams at the moment. The top, down till Goremongers, if I recall, 670. Yeah. The top 4 have like a quarter of all the games played. And then everything else is just kind of trickling down beneath it. We don't have huge number of games played, and we have so many teams. We have almost a third again. We have more than a third again the number of factions 40k has. Even including the different Space Marine sub-factions for 40k, we have a third again number of factions as 40k. And very roughly, I'll do a video about this one day. What's the numbers? Our total player count is about 11k? Something like that? 11k? And the total player count for 40k is about 130k. So, you know, just numbers I'm throwing out there. Not drawing any conclusions. These are just things we can all find online. But yes, something to think about. Something to think about. Yeah. So when I say that, oh, your Hearthkin losses tanked the team, well, let's look at Hearthkin. Where are they? Oh my god, how far down are they? Whoa, those are... Where are they? I can't see them. I saw Hearthkin. I literally can't see Hearthkin salvages. Right, sorry, that was so far down. 116 games played, less than Ratlings. Yeah, okay. So, you know what? If you played 11 games, yeah, you're 10% of Hearthkin salvages that went to tournaments. So, yeah, my bad. Always I'm playing Tempestus Acrolons. Can you do a video showing me how to always win with them? Thanks, man. Yeah, of course. So what you want to do is put them all on 32mm bases. And then you want to head swap them with Space Marines. And now you're playing Aims of Death. And boom, done. 3 wins. Always run Dueler. Every FLGS in my area has Ratlings in stock. You know what? In mine too, actually. Bizarrely, yeah. More so than any other team, I plan on picking them up just because no one plays them. That's a fair one. Why not? And then last part, okay, points out where they were. Salvage team was my first team, so I've been dragging down the stats. Yes. Hey, if we go back and look at them, their win rate is 49%. That's higher than Space Marines. Anyway, so I now want to point out, oh, we've also had our first games with Raveners and Battleclay. That's cool. So that would be this weekend. That's very nice. How are they looking? 50% and 47%? That's a pretty good first weekend stats, to be honest with you. Obviously, it's the first weekend. I wouldn't really take it as anything that matters. But it's interesting. Anytime, Timothy. Don't forget, if you want more of that quality, top tier, how to win the game content, you can always super chat, sign up to Patreon, or just donate money. That really is the value I bring to the Kill Team scene. It's really my expertise at the game and how to win big with any team. Yeah, I would say. I would say if I had to critique myself, that's what I bring to that's what I bring to the scene. Yes. Brewster has turned up. Hello, Brewster. Evening, folks. Evening to you too, sir. Now, so we have warp. Right. Let's just start with the obvious thing. The most obvious thing. Warp Coven at 62% win rate. Like, what's going on? They are in a tier of their own. All right? It's a mad one. I don't know why nobody talks about them anymore. My belief is that they're so good that we've just given up on them. There you go. That's what I think's actually happened. In the same way that I've stopped saying that elites in general are too strong, because it's clear GW just wants us to play them as is, and that's how the game is balanced. Elites are the default. If you can't beat them, play them, and that's how Kill Team's meant to be. Above, I mean, they're a full 10% stronger than the next elite team, Phobos. %13 higher than the following, Nemclaw. What's happening? Why is nobody talking about Warp Coven? What's going on? But can we glean more information from this? We can. So, this is looking at all games played, which is interesting, of course, and I do think is good to keep in mind. But keep in mind that some of these stats could be from a little 3-round, 6-person tournament, right? Could have just been some friends in the backyard banging each other in Kill Team, if you know what I mean. And one of them was playing Warp Coven, and they're also the best player of the group. And everybody knows each other, and it's not a real tournament, right? A classic backyard bang, as we call it. Stay hydrated. My God, I'm dying. I do have a fan, but if I were to point it at me now, you would just get wind noise in the mic. So I can't. It's pointed at my feet. And my feet are getting quite cold. It is not spreading to the rest of my body. My God. I might die of heat stroke. Hydratus dominatus. Oh, that's some crisp water. Good stuff. El Antropologo. Wasn't Warp Coven OP at the beginning of Kill Team 24? Yes, they were. It was especially bad at Worlds because Worlds was so close to the release of the new edition. And man, it was painful. But they took a nerf. They took a nerf. And they're still 10% better than even the next elite team, Space Marine team. As a Warp Coven player, I must say, I do love banging my friends in the backyard. Don't we all? The last part of Cadia, don't we all? Enjoy that ukulele weather. I'm loving it. I burned because I stepped outside for like 2 minutes. It's only Q2? Yeah, sure. Yes, no, we are... Oh, yes, sorry. The stats are only for this balance patch. Yes. There's no point looking at... We could look at the old stats. Can we? They were 64%. There you go. We can take that nerf as successful. We've clipped their Zangorian wings. How were they in the mid? Oh, they dropped to 57. Okay, okay. But then they've had a surge, a resurgence. Like the Phoenix. The Zangorian Phoenix. That's a banger of a name, isn't it? Zangorian Phoenix. God, make a book out of that one. And now they're up at a smothering 62%. Oh my god, it's so hot. Right, so there you go. That's cool. And that's fun. Now, sorry, as I was about to say, it's 30 here in Midwest. It ain't that hot, lol. Anthony, all you need to do, sir, is go on your social media of choice. TikTok, I'm not there. But Instagram, whatever, Shorts, and you will see a plethora of Americans, expats, immigrants, whatever you want to call them, saying, y'all thought it was a mistake. Y'all thought the English couldn't handle it, this weather. And I tell y'all this. And I don't know, I don't know what they say. But, you know, they say like, oh, I thought, oh, the English are being weak, saying that 24 degrees is hot. What are you talking about? 24 degrees isn't hot. 26 is hot, to be clear. Once you get over 25, it's officially hot. And, yeah. And they're like, no, it's just different. 26 degrees hits different in the UK. Let's just say that. I agree, though. If you're just looking at raw numbers, we don't look hype as you. I agree. As another Warp Coven player that plays a lot of backyard six-man bangs, love a nice backyard bang from the Warp Coven. I tend to lose all my matches. Well, you see, if you registered those on BCP, that's what it is, Brian. You need to get registering on BCP, bring that win rate down, and then they might avoid a nerf. I never seen or played Blades of Cain, but on like 3 different kill teams in one. So Blades of Cain are actually one of the teams that I can talk about because I actually like them. I haven't played them in a while, but they were I think they're probably the team I've played the most games on. They're not 3 teams in one at all. I really don't think they have much play as individual aspects. You do have to play them combined. But they're strong. Great team. And they're doing well. Second strongest team, it turns out. So, of course, they're doing well. Yeah. Stat-wise, Brian, you must be terrible. Lol. Yeah. Idiotic Synergy. Hello. Idiotic Synergy. Hey. Good to see you, my man. Are you UK-based? Are you also dying? Please don't make me feel alone in this. I was reading through their rule, and woof, they look strong. Can't see how they ever lost when they had Relentless. Right? It's mad. It's like, oh yeah, let's give this team a 2-up save from Relentless. It's like, oh yeah, okay. Sure. Filter on 4-up games. Yes, Michael. So that's exactly what I was about to do once I called out the chat. I'm going to filter to the elite games. So 4 rounds, 24 players. Yeah. And I'll explain why I'm doing that and blah, blah, blah. No idea why it's still broken. Yes. Warp Coven, take a big hit. Yeah. So who would you suggest to play for fun that is not elites? I'm sorry, is Kill Team fun? What do you mean? You've lost me on that one, mate. You love that. I do. Yes. If I could just do a Southern American accent all day, every day, I probably would. Yeah, I would. I feel like people judge me for it, but I do enjoy doing it. Yes. What's your least favorite kill team? Man, that is a question. I actually don't know. I'd have to think about it. I'd have to think about it for a moment. Because I can just start saying negative things about teams, but the least favorite? Oof. I don't know. I'll come back to that once I've caught up with chat. I'll think about that. I'm not sure. I think my problem is that I tend to play for, hey, it would be cool if my guy does X and forget that there's like points to earn. That's fair. That's a valid way to play the game. The only question is then, why isn't your opponent doing the same? Really, they're the losers because they're not having fun. Is complicated rules correlated with win rates? No. Oh, wait. Maybe? We can look at that in a moment. I don't think it is. He says, and then looks at the win rates. No, not really. I don't think. The top do look complicated. Like, I think that Warp Coven are a complicated team. As much as I like to give them crap, you know, you can't just no-brain them because they have a lot of, like, they're still Marines, they're still durable. But if you don't know what they do, you're still going to lose, right? It's only once you know their tricks. You know, you can't just completely no-brain, right? So you can lose with Warp Coven. If you were to give me Warp Coven, I've never played them, I would immediately lose, 100%, because I don't know what I'm doing with them. Yes. So maybe, ooh, I'll have a think about that. I'll have a look. The Zangorian Phoenix starring Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. Have you ever tried Necromunda? I've played two games of the new edition. One game lately. I actually like Necromunda. It is a simpler rule set in the core rules. I do not like pinned. That is my one gripe about it. I do not like the pinned mechanic. I've made a video about that. It's coming out whenever I decide to release it. My patrons have already seen it. But I do not like pinning. Aside from that, I think it's a really good rule set. Really nice. It's basically Warcry, so nice and simple, but 40k a little bit more crunchy. But of course, the issue with Necromunda comes in, you've got to play with like-minded people, because just as the equipment can just get insane and broken, and it openly says, hey, you can break this game if you try to do that. I think that's really difficult. So you have to play with a friend, and I think if you do, you probably get like a really, really fun, good, engaging game there. But if you're trying to like just pick up group pug it, and you go into someone that just, their version of fun is I break the game as much as I can, and your version of fun is, oh, this guy's name is Timothy and he's only got one eye, then, you know, yeah, you're going to have very bad experiences, I reckon. There you go. Plus, I only play like 1 or 2 games a quarter. Very fair, Brian. Very fair. Anyone here play the Necrons and Kill Team? I'm thinking of actually playing them. I have avoided them all to this edition. They were a team I played quite a bit last edition, back before they got buffed. Then I just never played them again. As we can see, they're doing very well at the moment, and therefore I will not play them, because I don't play top teams. I will say, before this weekend, they were like second. It was Warp Coven, Hyrotech, then Blades of Cain, then Chaos Cult, then Sanctifiers, actually. But they've obviously dropped this weekend for some reason. Fun and Kill Team with elites, preposterous. No, I wouldn't do that. It'd be a bit cringe, wouldn't it? When I was learning Warp Coven's rules, along with the opponent playing them, lol, all I could say was, yeah, 100%. I mean, if you go and look at my series of, gotcha guides, I kept all of them to a minute or a minute and a half. Warp Coven was 3 minutes. What more do you need to know? What more do you need to know? Right? My least favourite kill team, the one you play. Yeah. The latest one that beat me, if I'm honest. If you could change one rule to make a team more thematically engaging while still being balanced, what would it be? Kassakin. Very bland team. As much as people kind of gave them crap in the last edition for hitting on 4s, they now hit on 3s, which is great, but they just stripped the team of all kind of interest, if I'm honest. Yeah, I think they need to do something with Kassakin. It's a bit of a shame. Considering they're only a step down from Marines, you know? They suck. They're boring, is what I mean. But the most fun elite kill team is without a doubt Wrecker Crew. Ooh. If you like rolling 6 dice, yes, Wrecker Crew are without a doubt the most fun team, because you get to roll dice and see what the dice say. You know what isn't fun? Playing Wrecker Crew on Into the Dark. Into any other team. They need that door buff. Like I said, I reckon they just need fighters can just walk through doors. Something like that. right? Or spend a wrecker point to open a door, maybe. Something like, you know, something. You're still going to have a tough turn 1, but a wrecker point opens the door for free, maybe. They need something. It's okay, I'm in Ohio and speak with a cheeky British accent. Lol, watch too much House of Commons. Lol. Lol. Navy breaches. That's not a bad shout, actually. Casakin. They're great. It's quite fun. Magnify such a creative rule. It's an interesting rule. Yeah, I like it. Necron is perfect to play with friends. It's silly and entertaining. Valid. Valid. I didn't get into it because nobody around me really wants to play. But it's fine. Like I have time to play more games, you know? Oh no, I'm so late to the stream. Count Poor, you are very late. But Hydratus Dominatus. Never played a single game of Into the Dark. Local players just don't play it. Yeah. Agreed. That's fine. It's a very niche terrain set. I don't think you gain anything per se by buying it. You know? It's a different game playing on Into the Dark, but yeah, whatever. It's all good. You do you. Wreck point destroys the door, can't close it afterwards. I suppose. Sure. Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm down for that. It needs to have something it can do. Caskin should feel freakishly coordinated. I'd be down for that, for sure. They've already got the best comms in the game. Is that true anymore? Technically, yes. But maybe they need something else. Maybe they need those elite points back. But the elite points are not buffs to their shooting. They're buffs to something else. Either way, it's a bit of a rewrite, you know? Are the Void Scars still viable? Ooh, they got nerfed, didn't they? Where are they now? They're down to a 48% win rate, but then everything is below a 50% win rate, so that's not a bad thing. Yes. Void Scarred were secretly probably the best team in the game. That might be a stretch. They were a very, very strong team. The nerfs they got were fine. But the problem is, obviously we're looking at tournament stats, tournament players that go to these sorts of things that are going to do very well because they're those elite players. They don't play a team after it gets nerfed. So, maybe Corsairs are still absolutely top tier, but people aren't going to play them at the moment. Especially the fact that they're about to leave tournament rotation. We are going to see that plummet, their win rates. CT, yeah, that might work. Might work, sure. An orc with a giant warhammer, frustrated by not getting to open a door, is such a funny thing to imagine. I agree. Wrecker fighter break stuff should count for an attack, then boost model to 3 APL. Oh, yeah, interesting. Okay. Right, very quickly, let's have a quick look. Oh, sorry. I suppose the other thing we have to talk about is elites. Where are they? So obviously, well, Warp Common at the top, and you said Plague Runes at 48. Phobos up at 51. Nemclaw at 49. Plague Runes at 48. Mandrake's the team I recently played at 45, to clarify. And we're not there yet. Where are the Angels of Death? Angels of Death at 40% win rate. Now, what? How can that be true? Let's quickly swap to games played. This is a number of games. Oh, interesting. So, again, last weekend, this was the other way around. So they're very close. Plague Marines and Angels of Death are your 2 starter teams. They're also 2 elite teams. They're also Space Marine teams. These 2 should always be the most played teams. That's cool. When they get Nemesis Claw, kind of 100 less than them. And then we get Goremongers, which, as I've said to others, just shows how small this data set truly is. Goremongers are not some big, super cool team. They are a good mechanical team that a lot of tournament players are going to want to play because they're a new play style and blah, blah, blah. But we're not getting new players like, ooh, Goremongers, I'm into them. No. And so when you take that into account, I believe that Goremongers being this high in the played list shows just how tiny the actual player base of Kill Team is. In that when you're looking at games, number of games played, if Goremongers can be 4th, that's crazy. That's insane. The other thing, of course, is that the actual top 4, as I said, I think the top like 5-6 teams has like 50% of the games played, something ridiculous like that. So there you go. Oh god, likewise, Sanctifiers being so highly played. Nobody likes Sanctifiers. They're not a big, like, a big draw for the game, for the teams. Just keep that in mind. These stats are not showing general play. They are showing, like, tournament play, which is very much not kind of casual play. Just keep that in mind. Void's got a great, because I'm a lucky roller. Hey, roll 6s, the game's really easy. Wrecker Crew still top 10 win rate. Bubbles players see everyone else as peasants. Are the Wrecker Crew still top 10? No. We were looking at games played. This makes sense because there are orcs and people love orcs, and if you're in this because you like orcs, they're the only team really, because commanders are old now. Old AF team. Where are they actually in win rate? Down here. Lovely. Lovely, very far down. Let's have a quick look at Warp Coven. Why not? What's beating Warp Coven? Goremongers, a little bit. A little bit of Hyrotech. A little bit of Nemclaw. A little bit of Plague Marines. A little bit of Aquilons. Okay, there you go. Interesting. They have tough matchups into, well, nothing. But when you take into account they have a 60% win rate overall, Hyrotech Circle, Nemesis Claw does remarkably well into them, it turns out. I don't know why. I guess Sanctifiers seems to do okay. It's 50-50. Mainly Nemclaw, which of course is a problem because if you then look at Nemclaw, they are also relatively, I mean, they're a lot of people play Nemclaw, which means you're going to run into them a lot. Perhaps the fact that one of Warp Coven's worst matches is currently Nemclaw and Goremongers is why Warp Coven only have a 62% win rate and aren't higher than that, because they're having to go into their worst matchups so often. That's how stuff is. So Nemclaw are losing a lot to Blades of Cain, which is interesting. Exaction Squad. Chaos Cult. Hyrotech Circle, obviously. Okay, those are the ones that stand out to me most. Wrecker Crew, Warp Coven. Sure. Okay. Yeah. 50-50 Plague Marines. Yeah, just interesting things. What's beating Blades of Cain? What's beating Blades of Cain? Chaos Cult. Blooded. Oh. Interesting. Hunterclade. Lol. That's how stats can skew so hard. Nobody plays Hunterclade. Hunterclade aren't good, but they're good enough for this. Novitiates. Ooh, oh, Warp Coven. Why are Blades of Cain the top team? Because Warp Coven and Sanctifiers are the top teams. That's why. There you go. There you go. So, just interesting stuff. Right, let's have a quick look at what if we now go back to win rate. We're on win rate. And let's look at how the tournament players are looking. Sorry. Very quickly. Angels of Death on a 40% win rate. Keeping in mind, you're talking here to the guy, the OG that says that Angels of Death are too strong. And if we go back to the tier list, Angels of Death are A+. Why are Angels of Death at a 40% win rate when you have me saying that they're too strong? I have no doubt that you have played against or as Angels of Death, and we have a tier list from people that actually know the game saying they're basically S tier. Why do they have a 40% win rate? Right, let's quickly go over to elite matchups. So we're doing 4 rounds. We could change the number of players, but really what we care about is the 4 rounds. The reason we look at 4 rounds is because the way all of these matches work is, of course, Swiss pairings. And really, Swiss doesn't sort itself out until 4 rounds. Your first one is totally random. Your second one is basically still totally random. Then you get 3. That's when if you're in a 3-round tournament, your 3rd round is really the only relevant round. That's why when you get to 4 rounds, you start to actually see oh, okay, yeah, these people should have played. That now makes sense at round 4. And you actually start to get some good kind of top half, bottom half distribution, which is why we love to see those those bigger events that go 8 rounds, you know. That's what we're all about. But we don't get many of that. Very quickly, what program am I using? This isn't a program, this is a website. Type in Kill Team Stats Kofi, and you will see, that's KOFI, the tipping website. And you will see, I think it's called Kill Team Stats Chris. This is his website. He's done all of this. You should go and check him out. He's obviously awesome. Best stats around. I find it very easy to use, very easy to understand. The other stat sites I find less easy to access, shall we say. Kill Team Stats. Yes. Top 10. Sanctifiers is quite an ugly kill team, but is better than the lead of the Inquisition team. Ah, yeah, I don't like Inquisition. You see, again, there's just so many things I don't like. It's easier to ask what I do like. I've never really thought about the team I like the least. It might be Navy Breachers. It might be Navy Breachers. I just don't like the submarine aesthetic. But the Inquisition was such a letdown as well. Because they could have been so cool, and they were just like, oh, I'm a dude. Great. Yeah, tough. Really tough. Games played. Makes sense. Sanctifiers are ugly in a perfect way for the setting. I should play them more, but Gormuggers were more fun, and our Battleclade are here, so it's not going to happen. There you go. There you go. Ooh, I could blame it on that. We have several Nemclaw players in my group. Yes, apparently that is the thing. That's why I lose. Also, to be fair, I was being hyperbolic. I know, yeah. I probably have about 45% win rate. Nice. It's funny how Sanctifiers have dropped so much with such minor rules changes. Yeah, I don't really get Sanctifiers. To be clear, they're still top 4. You know? And probably still with people figuring them out, I would imagine. Well, I guess it's been 3 months. That's not really fair to say, is it? The best team is an Orc team. Tried my first MPO mission this weekend with my wife. It being her first game ever, needless to say it was rough. Trying to do a new game type with a new player, alongside with a new team I had never played. Yes, it's definitely... You've got to be very secure in, I suppose, your knowledge of the game, and also your ability to kind of... what's the word? Where you do something on the fly. Improvise, thank you. Where you improvise rules to make the experience smoother for her. I'm sure she loves it smooth, of course, like a Ken doll. Hence why she's with you. Boom! Roasted! I'm so sorry. I don't know where that came from, if I'm honest. That's just very aggressive of me. I apologize. Angels are too strong. Stop rending and dueling me. No, CT, they will never stop rending. They will never stop dueling. We simply have to accept that the Kill Team devs want Angels of Death to rend and duel. You know, it's like rip and tear. No, rend and duel. That's how AOD rock. They will never ever do anything else. That's life. That's life, baby. That's life. Rend and duel. Yeah. So many people play them. I don't know quite what we're on there, but yes. There you go. I think it's called Kill Team Stats. Yes. This is a power by report. Power by. Is that like power bisexual or something? Yeah. I don't know. Yes, I'm a power by. Golden standard for corporate reporting. Oh, is it? Okay. Oh, yes, it is. What is the link for the stats site? Type in Kill Team Stats Ko-Fi. This will be the first link. It's called Kill Team Stats Chris. Favorite Warhammer book? Oh, Ghosts. Although I have just picked up Grotsnick. You never know. Oh, you know what? So I do love Gaunt's Ghosts, but I actually no, yeah, okay, no, it's still Gaunt's Ghosts, but I did really enjoy Gazkul Maguruk Thraka, Leader of the War, or whatever it's called. I thought that was a very good book. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Infinite and Divine. It was fine. It wasn't that good. I reread it like last week just to see. It's fine. Inquisition should have been Dark Tide variants. I agree. Or veterans. Boom! Angels of Death are potent with dueling, but I think there might be a lot of people on the lower tables who are running AD with fluffy chapter tactics. That is possibly true. Of course, we never know. We never know. Are these fine casual ladies and gentlemen bringing down the average AOD stats? We would never say that. No. Maybe everyone that has played AOD into me is an elite top tier player. And that's why I have such a warped view of them. Sequel to Dan Abnett's Eagle book. Oh, okay. I haven't read that. Nice. Nice. Oh, Interceptor City. Yes. Cool. I liked the first Eagle book. Good read. But I felt that I then couldn't really live it out on the tabletop, which was a bit of a letdown for me, I felt. Played AOD with Siege and Sturdy or whatever. They're cool rules, real crap ones, and they still felt strong as hell. Okay. Just flat hefty. They are good rules, but I really do think it is Dueler that really pushes them over the edge for me. Basically, Dueler rending makes them hard counters for many elite, melee teams. And with that in the game, there are certain teams that I believe just can never be top teams because they're kept in check, which is fine, I guess. Should have been the Ghost Kill Team a long time ago. 100%. That'd be sweet. Yep. Agreed. They should have been a kill team. Didn't understand why Chaos Cults was so strong until I started playing them. But most people just don't understand foregoing turning point 1 to stack your team. After that, oh, okay. So I haven't seen how Chaos Cults win, to be honest. So you just... Doesn't everybody forego turn 1? Nobody does anything turn 1. Turn 1 is staging turn. Live and Let Start did a kill team match with custom Gaunt's Ghost team ones. Oh, that's cool. Nice. I think they have a point. I played AOD and they take some random tactics and I'm like, no, take these ones. But they don't, and then they lose. Could be, sure. Dueler rending. Why would you even think about anything else? If I went to a tournament, that's what I'd run. And everybody that played into me were like, they'd groan. I'm like, because we all know that's what you're running. Right, so if we now look at the stats, and these are the elite tournaments, notice we've cut the number of games by like 60%. So not huge amounts. If we were to go to actual elite tournaments and look at 24 players, we go down to own like this, and you can see we start to get A lot of these looking very different now, and also a lot of them haven't even had 50 games, right? So truly statistically insignificant. But if we just look at 4 rounds, we do see Warp Coven still up there. We see Hyrotech Circle, we see Blazer King, we see Sanctifiers. That is actually the exact order it was last week for the casual scrubs, so that's fine. It's just a bit different. What are our trusty Angels of Death doing? Well, they've gone up a little bit. 3%. They're much higher up now. That's nice, I guess. Lovely. But what if we go to 24, as I suggested? The true elite tournaments with elite players that have managed to get through the mud and the grime. Firstly, Farstalker Kimband not doing well, it would appear. What's that? 21% win rate. I call that a challenge. We have Deathcore up top. However, do note, there's only been 11 games played, which means they probably went to 3 tournaments. It's probably 1 person. There you go. But then we have Brood Brothers. Now, we know Brood Brothers are pretty strong. We don't know exactly why. If you look, they are indeed up in A+ tier, so we can assume they're pretty strong. Where are the Pathfinders? 49%. Okay. So this is, again, you got to look at the tier list. What is this tier list trying to tell us? It's completely wrong if you're looking at the casual players, where we have all stats. Is it lining up for the elites? Where's Legionary? The elite players, where's Legionary? 49%. Okay. Nemclaw. 51. All right. Okay. Above 50. Plague Marines. 49. Okay. I just don't understand what the tier lists, like why the tier, I just don't understand why people are generally saying, hey, these teams are good, we should play them, and then the stats have nothing to do with those teams. Can anybody tell me why? At some point, I will probably do a video where I rant about this, but I just don't get it. I feel like I'm missing something, you know? What's going on is my queue. Just straight up past turning point 1. That sounds crazy, but fair enough. I guess it depends on the crit up. But sure. My first 4 teams were AD and Plague Marines, as well they should be, yes. Then I got Legionary on sale, nice. Then I got Hyrotech Circle, because Necrons equals great. Necrons are great, that's true. Okay, cool. It's not, I think that's a great set of teams. Nothing wrong with that. Very elite heavy. Try playing with 14 models, Jesus. Damn, Deathcore, 67% win rate. Everyone I know who plays them must be uniquely crap at the game. You know what it is, Plastic Eater? Is that they have not yet watched my How to Play Deathcore team video, where I guided the young fledgling Sammy through how to be, you know, we flipped it. I let him read my script so that it was like he was the good player, right? You know, I gave him that one as a freebie, where we teach people how to play Deathcore. But yeah, they should definitely watch that. But no, I think Deathcore is just hard to play, and I think you have to play a very. I mean, Sammy in that video openly says Deathcore aren't a fun team to play well, right? So that's probably why. Unless they're playing a boring game, they're probably losing, which I think is part of why a lot of people lose. I think that somebody playing in a boring way will beat somebody playing in an exciting way. And a lot of people that are going to be playing the game and are going to play in an exciting way and not understand why it's bad, in addition to the people that just want to play in an exciting way because that's how they like to play, will be those elite players, will be the Plague Marine players, will be the Angel of Death players, because those are the new teams, right? And as depressing as this might sound, I do think... Wait, how did Deathcore get that many wins? Because there's only 11 games. That's why. Because we have so few players playing them, it is just meaningless numbers. Meaningless numbers, Jin. meaningless. Brew Brothers, however, have an acceptable number of numbers, and we could talk about them, as do Hyrotech Circle, which have far more numbers, as to Phobos. There you go. So, yes, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I think, hot take, that it's a very toxic way to view it, but if you play Kill Team in an exciting way, I think you're gonna lose. But that's okay for the players that know what they're doing, because that's how they want to play. That's the fun they have. But I think you have let's just say 50% of players play fun, 50% of players play boring, because that's how they enjoy to play. And then you have the new players who don't yet know how they want to play, and so naturally they're going to play fun, exciting. So they're going to say, oh, I'm going to roll lots of dice, because that's what you do. It's a war game. You roll lots of dice. And I think that is what accounts for such a heavy loss on, specifically, most of the elite teams, because that's the teams that people want to play. When I play Krieg, I make a lot of troop sacrifices to score VP, always finish the match with 1 or 2 models left. I have about 40-something% win rate with them. Ooh. Yeah, so, I mean, that's exactly what Sammy said should happen. Like, you're gonna die in a video game, but then he somehow turns that into a win. So I don't quite know how he does that. Brew Brothers. Right, here's my issue. Chat. I don't even know who... Am I talking like 4 people? How many people are in chat? Okay. Hello, everybody. Here's my question. Okay? Here's my question. We're done with the stats. You get it. You get what I'm saying. We can go back to we can put this away now. So, here's the thing. I was talking to my friend that I was playing my games against. I did Plague Marines into his Nemclaw, and then we did 2 games of my Mandrakes and his Scouts. One on Into the Dark, one on Open. But it wasn't even Volkers, it was custom terrain, right? And the question that I have for you is, or that we talked about was, I'm going to catch up with chat because I've actually forgotten what I was going to say. So I'll catch up with chat, and hopefully as I do that, I'll remember what that point was going to be. I reckon you're right. Every single game I play, I have at least one dilemma of, I shouldn't do this, but it'll be really fun. Oh, no, I get that a lot. Yeah. Very often you have a point in the game where you're like, right, I could do this and roll some dice, or I could do this and tap a point. And if I make the boring decision every turn, I'm probably going to win the game. That's quite boring. So, I focus so heavily on how strong the elite teams in general are, because I truly believe they are. Every time I have played as them, I have felt strong, win or lose. And often when I have won playing into a non-elite player as an elite team, I haven't really had to think too much. I've just kind of done what the team feels like it wants to do. I've dumbly charged forwards a lot and won, because I have the natural durability, and I have, I'm not like a super dumb player. Sometimes I do make dumb mistakes, obviously, but like, it's not like I'm just running forwards and thinking of nothing, right? I do make tactical decisions, but fine. It's felt like they've done what they're supposed to do, is all I'm saying. And then when I've been the non-elite player playing into an elite team, I feel overwhelmed. I feel like they just dominate me. It's crazy. It's like I've walked into a fetish club and the Marines are all wearing BDSM gear and I'm like a twink. I don't know. Something like, I imagine. Obviously, I've never done that myself, of course, but I hear stories from others. That's how it might be. So, yeah, I still think all of the elite teams are really strong. One could argue too strong. But the stats do not back me up on being too strong. Let's be clear on that. Oh, I suppose the other thing I should have pointed out, sorry, was the Warp Coven win rate. So once we got to that 4-round, 24 players, Warp Coven absolutely tank to middle of the pack, like 47% win rate. So what happens there? Are we saying that Warp Coven are the ultimate team, that in my mind, the ultimate elite team that do what I believe elites do, and they absolutely stomp every noob or casual or middle of the pack player? But then once you get above a certain level, Warp Coven become neutered. And is it possible that the entire game is being balanced by elite players, and they have no idea that Warp Coven is too strong because they can deal with it? And then you've got to talk about, well, what are you balancing into? Are you balancing for that top 5% of players, 10% of players? But unfortunately, all of the testers are the top 10%, top 5% of players. And so they have their weekly meeting and say, Warp Coven, totally fine. Might need a buff next patch, actually, because I beat them really easily. Obviously, we never know that. We never know. And it doesn't matter, obviously. But that's almost how I have to imagine the game is being played. I feel like the testing team has nobody that is a casual on the team, you know? There you go. It's my hot take. Hot take. Nice. Right. Jin says, I've advocated for Mr. TI to do a tier list versus cool play experience chart. Some top tier teams are so uncool, but there's some bottom tier teams that are very cool. Yeah. I mean, there's many different ways to phrase that, but indeed, a cool versus power level chart is definitely a good one. Indeed, because as we say here, the deathcore, they might be cool, but then also how are you defining cool? And then surely cool is just, Marines are just inevitably exceptionally cool, and regardless of their strength are always going to be at the top. I don't know. Hello Anthony, hello Niall. All these stats told me to finish painting Plague Marines and have fun. Anthony, again, fun? What? CT. New players also take the wrong thing from the term horde. Hordes don't win by swarming the board. They win by being boring. Sticks activated out. Yes, that is true. That's a very good point. Of course, they've all taken a bit of a nerf. What with the whole how strong counteract is now. But yeah. The Marines are all wearing BDSM gear and I'm like a twink. Yes, correct. True. You are now using elite to refer to player quality rather than team type. Yes, I've taken a leaf out of Kill Teams, the rules book, and I'm using a word to mean two different things. And if you try to call me on something, I'm going to FAQ errata my own stream and say, actually, I meant the other thing. Or I'm going to put the word vice versa in there. What's your cutoff for elites? But first, sorry, Maurice Chevrier, Canadian $2 What would you say the 5 least played teams are? Now, Maurice, do you want me to actually tell you what they are, or do you want me to guess what they are? Because I can do either. However, So, Gellerpox, Star Striders, Huntclade, Navy Breachers, Wormblade? Because Gellerpox you can't buy. Oh, you just want to know? Okay, alright, I'll just tell you. Alright, fine. That's easy. So let's see how I guessed. Ignore them. Gellerpox, Navy Breachers, Hunterclade, Wormblade, Deathcore. There you go. So I was close. I was close. Yeah. Okay. So obviously the reason for that is Navy Breaches are apparently, I haven't played them, atrocious from a power level perspective this edition. So that's an issue. And if you do want to play them, they are stronger if you play them as Inquisition. There you go. You can't buy Galapox, so it makes and it's being removed from tournament play in September, so that makes sense. Hunterclade and Wormblade are both what are they called? White Dwarf teams, and they're not particularly powerful to boot, which is an issue. Although, yeah, ish. And then Deathcore. So I am actually surprised that Deathcore are not played more. They are weak. Here's my logic. They're weak, and this is tournament stats, not casual fluffy game stats. And you got to think I've disconnected. I am now waiting until I reconnect. I'm back. Thank you. Cool. So, Maurice, easy peasy for you, sir. Type into the search engine of your desire. I don't know what you missed. I'm just going to power through as if nothing happened. And kill team stats, Kofi, Kofi. You've got to think. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Why would I say such a stupid thing? Never think. A, B, C. Always be charging. Don't think. Yeah, kill team stats, Kofi, and you will see, lasted a few seconds. What, are you my girlfriend? All right, bro. All right, damn. Call me out like that. Sound patchy. Damn. Damn. Nothing I can do about that. So, lame is all I can say. It sounds patchy. Because it's coming through here, fine. Maybe everything's just balked. I don't know. Yep. Yes, it was. Inevitably. Best 30 seconds of content is the stuff that gets cut. I've recorded it. Oh, I haven't recorded it. No, we're screwed. Okay, anyway. What was I saying? Yes, kill team stats, coffee. I had missed somebody. What's your cutoff for elite? 6 or 8? So Plastic Eater. Sounds gone. It shouldn't have. It's showing as being just a dandy. Well, I guess I can disable and re-enable my thing. But if that doesn't fix it, I'm just going to stop the stream. So there you go. How do I do that? Blammo. Okay, alright, well, yeah, it's Jin. Jin, classic Jin, just trying to troll my stream. Fool. How dare you, sir? How dare you try and be helpful? Anyway, cool. So, thank you, everybody. You're all very cool. Cut off 6 or 8. So, from a perspective of number of models, it is 8 that I would class. Up to 8 is elite, 9 to 11 is normal, 12 plus is horde. I'm pretty happy with that from a definition perspective. However, if you want to take that a step further and look at play styles, I think that truly elite means APL 3. So it gets a little bit more hazy there. So I think that Blades of Cain are elite. And I think that actually this might sound crazy, but Corsairs are kind of elite. You got that APL 2.5, you know. That is the hottest take ever. No other creator has ever said that take, and I immediately regret it. But if I'm counting Blades of Cain as elites, then I guess I kind of have to count Corsairs as elites. Obviously, Void Dancers are elites. But then if you look at, let's say, Hyrotech Circle, I would class them as elite. Kind of aren't. I still count them as it because just it's easier to just go with number of models, right? Hello Jack, how's it going? So you're playing Ken on Friday. You got in there too quickly. I'll probably come down. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But we shall see. We shall see. Do you think Ravagers are broken? Do you mean Raveners? Or do you mean Felgor Ravagers? Because I see that literally everybody is calling Raveners Ravagers. And that's very confusing. I assume it's a typo issue. Like an autocorrect on phone issue, right? Deathcore are like Commandos. Tournament goers are bored. Yep, totally agree, Jin. I think they've had their time in the sun. The elite. Oh, I need to pick another one. The top players have moved on. They've done what they wanted to do with Deathcore. Sure. And now that they're also weaker, they're going to move on. So Raveners, do I think they're what do you actually ask? Broken? No, I don't. I think Raveners, from what we've seen so far, are just fine. The biggest thing you're going to have to watch out for is their like guaranteed turn 2 charge, which only happens if they get initiative. But then that's a real pickle, obviously. Obviously, kind of their big thing is that they lose their redundancies and their, that's the wrong word, but their consistency when they're not on the tunnel. And the tunnel's really slow. It's a very strange team, if I'm honest. But from what I have played with them, they seem fine. I will say, tell me if I'm wrong, but I suspect a lot of top players roll a lot of really good hot dice. I'm just throwing that out there because, yeah. Make them play with different dice. Hot take. Make them play with my dice. Not my good dice, though. Because when I play with my good dice, winning kill team is really easy, it turns out. Who knew, right? But when I then swapped my cold dice, kill team's really hard. Like, I can't win a single game. But when I'm rolling at least one crit every attack, suddenly I can win. That's weird, isn't it? Strange how that happens. Just reading my new Typhon book, the Battlefield Preacher has 2 profiles, short range, close range. I feel that could have been phrased better. Yes. Can you define short versus close, please? Thank you. Sure. Elite teams versus Excelseat players, clearly. Oh, I think you've gone above my pay grade on that one. I'm going to Google it. Do you mean excellent? Or is that an actual word you've said? Excel. C-I-T. Yeah, that's not coming up with the word. So I think you meant excellent. There you go. Good stuff. Okay, everybody. Well, we've come to the end of the stream now. Roll good. That's the paid advice you get from TPT. Yeah. No, indeed. Soon you shall see a reel from me where you will see Paradigm Shift lost on that one. I haven't even heard of Paradigm Shift 2070 actually. You're making me feel old, even though it's probably the other way around. But yeah, indeed, you'll soon be seeing a short from me where I make a joke that rolling good is the only way to get better at kill team. Stunning, brave, original. I know. How do I come up with these? They come out of nowhere. Wow. Anyway, everybody, thank you for watching. I hope you have stayed hydrated because my God, it is hot. We started the stream at a sweltering 27.3. We're now down to 26.6. Wow. Truly, the Ice Age hath cometh. Hydratus Dominatus. I will see you in a video. Some point this week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't know. But it's... patrons have already seen them. But have a good one. Have a good... Enjoy the lows of 24. I wish it was 24. My room is 25 plus. Thank you. It is a nightmare. Have a good one, everybody. See you in videos and stuff. All right. Stay cool. And see you next week for streamings. Same time. Same place. Same... I'll workshop it for next time. Don't worry. All right. Bye.